Hello, thanks for joining us today for our video guide showing you how to turn on and off wall connections within Vertex BD. Here we have our example home model loaded up within Vertex BD. This is a basic example structure I've created in our Vertex BD Steel software. Switching to our framing model, you can see that I have utilized the hide function to hide some of the additional sheathing layers so that we can see the frame structure of our example build. In our example model as it stands, we have wall connections turned on, so let's take a look at turning those off. Firstly, we go to the project document browser, the settings tab, and the design settings section. Within here, we choose to open the building parameters by double-clicking on it. This opens the building parameters dialog box. Within here, we have a whole host of different options and settings to choose from. These are split down into different sections. We have parameters for our first floor structures is the first option, which includes things such as parameters for default heights, parameters for the exterior walls and interior walls, and more. Parameters for the second floor, which are very much the same as the first floor's parameters. Parameters for the foundation structure, parameters for the ground floor, roof drawing parameters, wall framing parameters, terrain parameters, and system parameters, which is where we require to be. Within the System Parameters tab, we have a whole host of different settings and parameters which are customizable as necessary for the projects you are working on within Vertex BD. In today's example, we're going to be amending two of these. The first is our floor framing connections parameter, shown here. As you can see, within the value section for this parameter, it's currently set to 1. This means that within the software, our floor framing connections are turned on. To turn those off, we simply right-click to amend the value field and change this from 1 to 0 as shown. Next, let's go down further and repeat this step with our wall panel framing connection parameter. Here, we again modify the value from 1 to 0 as shown. Now with that completed, we have turned off the wall and floor framing connections within Vertex BD in our current project. For us to be able to put these parameter amendments into effect, we click OK, and then we must regenerate our project's framing structures. Let's take a look at this in practice. Within the Modeling tab, and with our model selected, we navigate to the Wall Framing dropdown and select to generate parts. Vertex will then quickly work through regenerating our framing model, however this time without our connections as we have turned those off. Now as you can see, once our model has regenerated, if we navigate back to the framing view and then hide some of our siding elements, etc., we can see our wall connections have been turned off and our framing connections are no longer generated. Should you want to restore the settings and turn back on the wall and floor framing connections, we simply repeat the same process again by amending the values as we did previously, but we change them from 0 back to 1, and then again press OK, regenerate our framing structures as we did previously. As you can see, once completed, our wall and floor connections are then restored. Thanks for joining us for our video guide. For more tips, tricks, and helpful guides, why not check out our channel where you can enjoy more videos on how to get the most out of your Vertex software.